And Kawhi Leonard putting his head down in a...
Bills, not that time. Leonard on during the regular season. Leonard gets the steal, 3-on-1.
Kawhi Leonard, the man with 2 NBA championship rings and a staggering fortune of $120 million. He's the epitome of a successful and wealthy basketball player. But few know that Kawhi endured a painful childhood, marked by the sound of a gunshot that took his father's life at the hands of a stranger. Even as an adult, the storms didn't let up. Kawhi was branded a traitor in Toronto. Once an idol adored by thousands of fans, Kawhi Leonard became a villain in the blink of an eye. So how did Kawhi Leonard overcome adversity, conquer the NBA with powerful dunks, and build an ever-growing empire of wealth? Right now, let's dive into the life of the Claw, Kawhi Leonard. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share so you won't miss out on more exciting content about the NBA's top superstars. Father to a gunman's bullet. Kawhi Anthony Leonard was born on June 29, 1991, in Los Angeles, California, the youngest of 5 siblings. His early days weren't filled with the glitz and glamour you might imagine for a future superstar. When Kawhi was 5, his parents, Kim Robertson and Mark Leonard, split up. Kim, a resilient woman, decided to take her kids and leave LA for Moreno Valley, a suburb not too far away, but distant enough to reshape Kawhi's childhood. There, he grew up under his mother's care, a woman who single-handedly provided for the family. Though his father, Mark, didn't live with them, he stayed in touch and remained a part of Kawhi's life, a bond Kawhi cherished, even if it was imperfect. Moreno Valley wasn't an easy place to grow up. Kawhi often saw his mother struggling, working tirelessly to support him and his sisters. But it was in those tough times that he learned patience and silence, traits that would later define him. Basketball crept into Kawhi's life early on. He wasn't the type of kid to show off or crave attention. Instead, he preferred quiet afternoons on the court near his house, shooting hoops alone under the blazing California sun. Those around him say he was always the quiet kid, but his unusually large hands quickly caught people's attention as he effortlessly stole balls or snagged tough passes. In high school, Kawhi started at Canyon Springs High School in Moreno Valley. He played basketball there, but didn't yet stand out as a major talent. That changed when he transferred to Martin Luther King High School in his junior year. There, Kawhi found himself. Alongside teammate Tony Snell, he led the Wolves to a 33 record in his senior year. Averaging 22.6 points, 13.1 rebounds, 3.9 assists, and 3 blocks per game, Kawhi earned the title of California Mr. Basketball, a prestigious honor once held by legends like Jason Kidd and Paul Pierce. Even then, Kawhi stayed humble. He'd show up, play his heart out, and go home. Then tragedy struck in 2008 when Kawhi was 16. His father, Mark Leonard, was shot dead at the family's car wash in Compton. According to the Los Angeles Times, it happened on a January evening, and the killer remains unknown to this day. Kawhi doesn't talk much about that day, but those close to him say he broke down sobbing after his next game, a game he insisted on playing just a day after the funeral. That pain seemed to sink into him, turning the court into his sanctuary. He'd shoot for hours, as if each shot was a way to soothe his shattered heart. After high school, Kawhi chose San Diego State University over bigger schools. There, he kept growing. In his freshman year, he helped the Aztecs win the Mountain West Conference and reach the NCAA tournament. By his sophomore year, he averaged 15.7 points and 10.4 rebounds per game, leading the team to the Sweet 16 before falling to eventual champion Connecticut. Named to the second-team All-America, Kawhi proved he was ready for the next step. He skipped his final 2 college years to enter the 2011 NBA draft, carrying with him the baggage of a childhood full of loss and relentless effort. Emerging from loss and ceaseless determination, Kawhi Leonard stepped into the NBA with his signature quiet demeanor. He wasn't the flashiest name in the 2011 draft, doubted, and underrated. But like every challenge before, Kawhi didn't need words to prove his worth. He let his massive hands and iron will do the talking. From an overlooked rookie, he began his journey to conquer the NBA in his own unique way. The quiet guy who locked down. LeBron James Kawhi Leonard entered the 2011 NBA draft far from the brightest star. Picked 15th overall by the Indiana Pacers, he was immediately traded to the San Antonio Spurs, a team known for its disciplined system and little room for individual spotlight. Early on, Kawhi wasn't a star. He was just a quiet rookie averaging 7.9 points per game in the lockout-shortened 2011-12 season. But anyone who watched him play could see those giant hands weren't just for show. He defended like his life depended on it. Under Greg Popovich's guidance, the Spurs saw potential in his patience. In the 2012-13 season, Kawhi started to reveal something special. He played in his first NBA Finals, facing LeBron James and the Miami Heat. The Spurs lost in 7 games, but at 21, Kawhi turned heads by locking down LeBron in key moments. He didn't say much, just acted, and those actions began shifting how people saw him. By 2013-14, Kawhi exploded. He led the Spurs back to the finals, this time crushing the Heat 4-1. Averaging 17.8 points per game with stellar defense, Kawhi won Finals MVP at 22, the third youngest in NBA history, per NBA.com. The kid who'd lost his dad, who'd shot hoops in silence to escape pain, now stood atop the league, yet his deep, calm gaze never wavered. Then came the setbacks. In the 2016-17 season, Kawhi was at his peak, leading the Spurs with 25.5 points per game, but an ankle injury in the playoffs against the Golden State Warriors forced him out. The Spurs lost, and his relationship with the team began to crack. He felt misunderstood, doubted over his injury, another wound layered atop his past struggles. By 2018, Kawhi demanded a trade. He was sent to the Toronto Raptors, labeled as enigmatic by the media. But Kawhi didn't care. He arrived in Canada with one goal: to prove his worth. The 2018-19 season with the Raptors was legendary. Despite lingering hamstring concerns, Kawhi played like a warrior. He carried the team past Philadelphia with an iconic buzzer beater, a shot that bounced 4 times on the rim before dropping, leaving the world breathless. Then, in the finals against the Warriors, he averaged 28.5 points per game, securing his second ring and second Finals MVP. Toronto, a foreign city, became home, and Kawhi, once seen as a traitor in San Antonio, became a symbol of resilience. Next, he returned to his roots with the Los Angeles Clippers in 2019. Injuries tested him again. A torn ACL in 2021 sidelined him for the entire 2021-22 season. But Kawhi didn't quit. He came back, step by step, game by game, with the patience he'd learned in his darkest days. Every time he stepped onto the court, it wasn't just a game. It was an answer to the doubts, the losses, and the long nights shooting alone under Moreno Valley's moonlight. When you think of the Claw, it's not just the massive hands or clutch shots, it's the incredible empire of wealth he's built from sweat, tears, and raw talent. With a net worth estimated at $120 million in 2025 per Celebrity Net Worth, Kawhi isn't just a star on the court. He's a living testament to rising from adversity to the top, inspiring anyone who's faced challenges to look up with pride. Luxurious mansions and sneakers that sell out in a minute. Let's start with real estate, the clearest sign of Kawhi's financial explosion after years of struggle. In 2019, fresh off leading the Toronto Raptors to their first NBA title, Kawhi dropped $13.3 million on a stunning mansion in Rancho Santa Fe, California. This isn't just a house, it's a statement. Spanning over 10,000 square feet on a 5-acre lot, the estate boasts 6 bedrooms, 8 bathrooms, and an infinity pool overlooking breathtaking natural scenery. Picture Kawhi, who once ran under Moreno Valley's scorching sun to escape sorrow, now standing by that pool, gazing at the empire he built with his own hands. It's not just money, it's a triumph of will. That same year, Kawhi stunned again, shelling out $6.725 million for a luxurious penthouse at the Ritz-Carlton Residences in downtown Los Angeles, steps from the Staples Center where he plays. The 4,300 square foot unit features 3 bedrooms, panoramic views of LA's skyline, and lavish interiors down to every detail. Per the Los Angeles Times, he bought it to stay close to home, but by 2024, Kawhi listed it for $6.5 million, taking a slight loss. Maybe he was aiming bigger, and he delivered. In 2021, he spent $17.1 million on an architectural masterpiece in Pacific Palisades, L.A. Once owned by film producer Ryan Kavanaugh, this 11,815 square foot home has 7 bedrooms, 12 bathrooms, a home theater, gym, and an infinity pool facing the Pacific Ocean. Experts say it's now worth around $22 million. Together, these 3 properties total about $37 million, a figure that screams. From a boy who lost his father, Kawhi turned pain into the bricks of his own palace. Now, let's talk cars, where Kawhi blends humility with subtle extravagance. Who doesn't remember the story of his 1997 Chevrolet Tahoe, nicknamed Gas Guzzler, which he still drove even after signing multi-million-dollar deals with the Spurs? That beat-up SUV, worth less than $1,500, symbolizes his roots. Kawhi told Sports Illustrated he kept it because it runs fine and it's paid off. That's Kawhi, never forgetting where he came from, even as a millionaire. But don't think he stops at simplicity. His car collection, per First Sports, is worth over $436,000, featuring rides that make any car enthusiast drool. Take his 2021 Rolls-Royce Cullinan, pearl white, priced at about $348,500. With a twin-turbo V12 6.75-liter engine pumping out 563 horsepower, it's a champion's car. Luxurious, powerful, uncompromising. Kawhi drives it like he plays, quietly, but with authority. Then there's the rare Porsche 911 993, around $61,100, with a sleek black finish and a stylish 3.6-liter flat-six engine. He also owns a 2016 Subaru Forester, about $25,795. Practical, reliable, like his defense on the court. From the old Tahoe to a lavish Rolls-Royce, this collection tells the story of a man who knows what he wants, staying grounded while reaching for new heights. Kawhi's wealth isn't just in homes or cars. It's in the massive figures from his NBA career and endorsements. He's earned over $276.6 million in salary across 12 seasons per Spotrac, with his current 3-year $149.5 million. Clippers deal averaging $49.8 million annually. Add in over $8 million yearly from deals with New Balance, Cargo Jet Airways, and others. His first signature New Balance Kawhi shoe, launched in 2019, sold out in under a minute in Canada, proof of his quiet star power. That $120 million net worth isn't just money, it's the reward for late-night practices, battling injuries, and a heart that never stops chasing greatness. But luxury for Kawhi isn't just about houses or cars. It's in the finer things that touch his soul. When he's not playing or training, he dives into the pulsing beats of hip-hop, not just as a fan, but as part of the culture. A true hip-hop addict. First of all, Kawhi is a true hip-hop enthusiast. From his days as a kid in Moreno Valley, California, he was drawn to the powerful rhythms and raw street rap lyrics. According to ESPN in 2019, Kawhi once shared that he likes to chill with music from Drake and Travis Scott, two artists whose beats can shake even a heavy-duty Bose speaker system. Imagine Kawhi after an intense game, returning to his penthouse or private mansion. LED lights softly changing colors, the Bose or Bang & Olufsen sound system cranked to full blast, the bass vibrating in his chest. No phone, no social media, no one bothering him, just him and the music. It's not just a pastime, but a form of luxury in Kawhi's style. Quiet, refined, yet full of class. But what might surprise you more? Kawhi isn't just a music listener, he also produces it. In 2021, he released the hip-hop project Culture Jam, an album blending basketball and music, collaborating with big-name rappers like Youngboy Never Broke Again and Rod Wave. Not to show off, not to compete in the music industry, but simply to live fully in his passion. With millions of dollars from his NBA salary, Kawhi doesn't hesitate to invest in the most high-end recording studios, top-tier equipment, and lavish writing sessions with leading artists. He may not need a stage, but he certainly needs music flowing through his veins. And you? Do you remember that feeling from your youth of dreaming to be a rock star? Kawhi is living that dream, but in his own cool, detached style. If you think Kawhi only knows basketball and music, you've missed another interesting part: food. And when it comes to cuisine, no one would expect an NBA superstar to be obsessed with Wingstop, the chain specializing in fried chicken. But don't imagine Kawhi as the type to stand in line like us. According to Slam in 2016, he once panicked when he lost a Wingstop coupon, to the point that the company had to send him a whole stack more. Not because he couldn't afford it, but because it's a habit, a genuine love for the tongue-searing mango habanero fried wings. For Kawhi, Wingstop isn't just fast food, it's a form of enjoyment. Picture him and his close friends sitting in the most private of spaces, the table loaded with steaming boxes of fried chicken, laughing together after a long day. With money, you could buy gourmet delicacies, but sometimes true luxury is a simple night like that, moments anyone would want to have. Kawhi Leonard's hobbies reflect exactly who he is: reserved, unflashy, but always high quality. He doesn't chase ostentatious luxuries like supercars or loud parties. Instead, he chooses to invest in music, personal experiences, and moments that truly matter. That's real class. No need to show off, yet everyone has to respect it. The above are the hobbies and interests of Kawhi Leonard that we've gathered from various sources. If you want to know more intriguing details about his behind-the-scenes life, we encourage you to explore other sources for the most accurate information. From a man who lives discreetly, enjoying simple pleasures like music and fried chicken wings, Kawhi Leonard entered a phase where all eyes turned to him, but no longer with admiration. If before he chose silence to build his class, now that very silence makes people doubt him. Kawhi hasn't changed, but the way the world sees him has. And it all started in the 2017-18 season when the trust between him and the San Antonio Spurs shattered. Refusing to play, despite being healthy. Let's go back to 2017-18 with the San Antonio Spurs, where everything began to fall apart. Kawhi, then the team's brightest star, suddenly vanished from the court due to what was called a hamstring injury. But what really happened? He refused to play, despite the Spurs medical staff declaring him fit to compete. According to ESPN, tensions escalated when Kawhi and his team, led by his uncle Dennis Robertson, cut off communication with the Spurs. Fans who once cheered him through every shot felt betrayed. A superstar abandoning the team that lifted him to the top. Was that the loyalty they expected? The Spurs ultimately had to trade him to the Raptors in 2018, and the way he left a stain. Cold, selfish, without a word of thanks. Then came Toronto, where Kawhi briefly reclaimed his glory with the 2019 championship. But even as he lifted the trophy, he was quietly planning his exit. Just a year later, he signed with the Clippers, sparking rumors that he and Uncle Dennis had been backroom dealing with the LA team beforehand. Reports from The Athletic suggest the Clippers were suspected of violating recruitment rules, prompting an NBA investigation. Raptors fans, who once dubbed him the King of the North, now saw him as a two-faced traitor, abandoning them right after achieving glory. That feeling of being used, who wouldn't feel bitter? And that's not all. His time with the Clippers has been an endless string of controversies. Kawhi constantly sits out citing load management, a concept he's turned into a punchline in fans' eyes. He's missed hundreds of games since 2019, including the entire 2021-22 season due to an ACL injury. But the way he stays silent about his health raises big questions. According to Bleacher Report, Clippers fans are growing fed up seeing him on the bench, laughing and joking, while his teammates sweat it out on the court. He earns nearly $50 million a year from his current contract, but doesn't bother explaining why he's not playing. That lack of transparency has exhausted everyone's patience. Most recently, in the 2024-25 season, Kawhi sat out nearly half the season due to knee inflammation, only returning in January. The games he does play come with limited minutes, while fans watch James Harden carry the team. A post on X even rumored he punched SGA during a game against the Thunder. Though there's no evidence, Kawhi's silence only fueled the speculation. From a hero, he's now seen as a slacker, just collecting paychecks without contributing. Kawhi Leonard's public image has shifted, no longer the silent warrior, but a superstar who makes us wonder, is he really battling injuries or just battling our trust in him? Amid the controversies, the skeptical looks, and even the criticism about his loyalty, Kawhi Leonard still holds firm to one thing: family. When his career is riddled with upheaval, when fans' faith wavers, there's still one person by his side without needing any justification: Keishiel Shipley. It's not the NBA spotlight, not the multi-million-dollar contracts, but her and their children who are his true haven. The unrecognized partner Kawhi met Keishiel Shipley at San Diego State University, where they began their relationship in 2014. This was a time when Kawhi wasn't yet a superstar, just a quiet guy with big dreams. Keishiel, a California girl from San Diego, studied public administration, unaware that her life would intertwine with a man the world would later follow. They aren't loud, they don't show off. And even today, March 27, 2025, there's no clear evidence they've officially married. But who cares about a piece of paper when their love has endured time, pressure, and curious stares? According to People, Keishiel was spotted wearing a large diamond ring at LAX in 2022, sparking engagement rumors. But Kawhi and Keishiel stayed silent, as they always do. They have two kids, Kalia, born in 2016, and a mysterious son, born in 2019, while Kawhi was with Toronto. Kalia made a rare appearance with her parents at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards in 2019, a moment that makes you smile seeing the tiny girl amid her dad's spotlight. As for the son, Kawhi only briefly mentioned him in a 2019 Yahoo Sports interview, saying he moved from the Raptors to the Clippers to be closer to family, a decision not just about basketball, but about those he loves most. The boy's name remains a secret, like how Kawhi shields his family from the limelight. Kawhi's private life hasn't been easy. He lost his father, Mark Leonard, in 2008 to an unsolved shooting, a wound he's carried throughout his career. Keishiel entered his life afterward, becoming a quiet pillar as he rebuilt his world. They don't use social media, don't flaunt family photos, a striking contrast in an era where everything's on display. According to The Athletic, Kawhi's mom, Kim Robertson, once said, "Kawhi doesn't care about the spotlight. He just wants to play ball and live for his family." And Keishiel, with her discretion, seems like his perfect match. Their marriage, whether on paper or not, is a journey of steadfastness. When Kawhi left the Spurs amid injury drama, when he led the Raptors to glory and then left, when he struggled with his knee at the Clippers, Kishil was always there. No complaints, no need for the spotlight. It's the kind of love many of us crave. Quiet, but so deep it stings to think of her silent sacrifices. Beyond the court, Kawhi isn't just a family man, but someone with a deep sense of compassion. He doesn't talk much, doesn't seek recognition, but his actions paint a different picture. A man who always remembers his roots, always ready to help those in hardship. Gifting cars to kids with special needs. From his days in Moreno Valley, where Kawhi lost his father Mark Leonard to a 2008 shooting, he understood the value of community. That pain didn't break him, it made him stronger, and he uses that strength to help others. In 2015, when he won Defensive Player of the Year, Kawhi was given a Kia Sorento. He didn't keep it. According to Deseret News, he donated it straight to Respite Care, a San Antonio organization supporting kids with special needs. They need it to transport the kids, to give them a chance to see a brighter side of life, he said. Just imagine an NBA superstar at the peak of his career choosing to give rather than keep. That's Kawhi. No fancy words, just action. His impact goes beyond the court. In 2019, when he led the Toronto Raptors to a championship, Canadian fans launched the Co-Wine and Give campaign, calling for charitable donations to thank him, per the Star. They picked organizations like Emily's House, a hospice for terminally ill kids, believing those were values Kawhi holds dear. He didn't shout about it, didn't boast on social media, but his actions inspired thousands to donate, turning personal glory into shared hope. That's the power of silence, a quiet flame that burns fiercely. Kawhi doesn't forget his roots either. He regularly sponsors books, school supplies, and food for kids in Moreno Valley and Compton, according to sources from The Athletic. When the pandemic hit in 2020, he teamed up with the Clippers to distribute millions of meals to struggling people in LA. Kids like he once was, growing up in lack, dreaming of a better day, now get a hand up from him. For Kawhi, charity isn't about fame. It's how he gives back to a life that once took so much from him. But Kawhi's legacy isn't just in what he gives, it's in how he keeps fighting to stand tall. If the past years showed a quiet yet generous Kawhi, 2025 is his next chapter. One of resilience, of a will that refuses to bow to adversity. Chasing peak form. Again, Kawhi Leonard, right now in 2025, is the image of a man who never stops fighting, not just to return to NBA greatness, but to remind us that life is about getting up after falling. After 254 days away from the court due to a knee injury, he returned with the Clippers in early January 2025, scoring 12 points against the Hawks, a moment that's not just a comeback, but the roar of a warrior once doubted to collapse. At 33, Kawhi isn't the boy running under Moreno Valley's sun to forget his father's loss. He's a father, a husband, carrying a fire that chokes us up seeing him walk on legs once worn out. Right now, Kawhi is on a challenging recovery journey. As of mid-2024-25 season, he's played over 25 games, averaging 23.8 points and 6.2 rebounds per NBA.com. One standout game was when he dropped 33 points and nabbed 4 steals against the Cavaliers, proof that the claw is still as sharp as ever. But it's not always glory. His absences for knee management leave fans, who saw him take down the Warriors in 2019, both hopeful and anxious. His body isn't the invincible machine it once was, but his heart, the one that carried him through 2 championships, still beats strong, keeping us glued to him. Looking ahead in 2025, Kawhi isn't just aiming for the playoffs, he's aiming for a legacy. With a 3-year, $149.5 million contract with the Clippers, per SpotRack, he has 2 seasons left to prove himself. Coach Tyronn Lue, in an ESPN interview, said the team is focused on getting Kawhi back to his peak by late season, ready for the big April battles. But deeper down, Kawhi wants his daughter, Kalia, and young son to see their dad never give up. The quiet training sessions, the rest days with Kashale to recharge, all of it is so he can step onto the court in those defining moments where the lights blaze and the cheers echo. Kawhi Leonard in 2025 embodies the resilience any of us who've faced hardship can feel. He doesn't promise with words, he proves with action. And as this year closes, no matter how far the Clippers go, we know he's poured his soul into every step, every shot. Finally, we're not responsible for any interpretation or application of this video's content. Viewers should evaluate, verify the information, and take it selectively. Thanks everyone for taking the time to watch this video. I'm truly grateful for your support. If Kawhi Leonard's story touches you, even just a little, please leave a like to let me know. Don't forget to share this video with friends, family, anyone you think might feel the strength from his journey. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that red button now so you don't miss the next amazing stories. We'll meet again, so let's spread this inspiration together.